Okay, so we're going to test the cooling system for electrolysis. Electrolysis is one of the biggest problems we have in a cooling system, and it causes a lot of issues with heater cores and radiators and oil coolers and all kinds of stuff. So, simply put, electrolysis is a small current flowing through a cooling system, stripping molecules molecules of metal from one part and depositing them on another. And where this creates a problem is it'll actually put holes in some parts of the metal and plug up other things like oil coolers and stuff like that. So where do these electrolysis come from? Well, it comes from two sources. One is from stray electrical currents, usually caused because of bad electrical grounds on the engine block and stuff like that. But the biggest cause of it is from chemistry, from the cooling system itself, from contaminants in the cooling system. In a highly acidic cooling system, has a tendency to act like a battery, and that electricity then causes flowing through the cooling system is what causes the electrolysis, the eating of the metal and the galvanization of, they call it galvanic corrosion inside the cooling system. So we're going to go and we're going to show you how to test for it. It's a very simple test, and we're just going to use a simple voltometer. We're going to set it to volts, and let me bring this a little closer and I'll show you. Okay, so we are going to test this first of all for galvanic activity and then for electrolysis. Both of them really are just electricity in the cooling system, and all we're going to do is we're just looking for voltage in the cooling system. We're going to take our negative cable and we're going to hook it to the negative side of the battery cable. You're just going to simply drop the positive one and just dip the tip of it in the coolant. Now, if we were dripping it in a radiator, we'd make sure that we weren't touching it. You know, if it was a metal radiator, then we weren't touching anything metal. We're plastic here, so we're in really good shape. Now, we're looking for, let's kind of change the range on this. Okay, we're really looking for anything under 300 millivolts. If we get above 300 millivolts, we know that we're starting to have too much in here. If you get somewhere around 500 or half a volt, somewhere in that neighborhood, you know you've got some kind of a problem. And when the engine's off and we know we don't have any electrical current going through here, this is strictly the acidity of the cooling system that's causing this electricity in here. So the only way to correct this would be to flush the cooling system and kind of flush it out really well. If you have a cooling system that's in really bad condition and you've got, you're making 7/10, maybe you can even get a volt out of this thing. If you are that high, then there's a good chance that you can't get all the crud out of the block on this. You'll continue to have problems. And this will manifest itself with heater cores that they get holes in them and they turn black because you have electricity running through them. So this thing's technically good, but it's running up on the borderline of bad. This shouldn't be. You definitely don't want it above 300 millivolts. Having said that, you need to really refer to the manufacturer specifications, because different manufacturers are going to have different specs for what their cars can do. So now we want to check for electrolysis. Now electrolysis is going to have the same results, but we can see what's happening when we start this car, turn all the accessories on. We can see what's happening in the cooling system as a result of all the electrical loads. So our trusty assistant Jay is going to go in and start this vehicle. He's going to turn the AC on. He's going to turn on the headlights and everything that we can, and we're going to see what kind of voltage we get out of here. So then we see that it went up, but not that much. And one thing you can't test here is we can't test for situations like if we had a bad starter ground, and it's very difficult to see that in a test like this. So there's a lot of different areas that we could get that we can't actually see, but we're still really good here. And we would want to see somewhere below 500 millivolts of electrical, checking for electrolysis here, something less than a half a volt, but definitely we're okay here with 260 millivolts. So this car's okay. And again, if we wanted to try to fix the galvanic activity, all we can do is flush the cooling system. Thank you for watching.